So I picked case 7, which, just as a summary, a programmer is asked by his manager to make a code to make random information for the company's stockholders. And the programmers, and then the manager said if the programmer didn't do it, he'd be fired. The programmer eventually makes the program, and the question asks, how would you rate the programmer's conduct? First of all, I feel like really bad for the programmer just because they have that boss that made them write that code to first of all lie to their customers. So for him, I don't really feel like the programmer did anything specifically wrong just to protect his job, but I do think he should continue to try to get his manager fired or at least separated from his sector just so he's not bothered by him anymore, just because the programmer doesn't deserve to get in trouble like that. I think just as a history, this kind of goes to show that when someone's in power, they can ethically corrupt other subordinates around them, kind of like how the Nazis were kind of introduced in our reading, how like a society can be corrupt, like what happened in Nazi Germany. Second, being ethical is you're not supposed to commit fraud. That was one of the examples in our ethics summary. So I think that's another thing that should have been targeted, just because he is committing fraud by having inaccurate information just for the sake of his manager. And then also goes against the right to freedom from injury. So that's another big thing that's ethically wrong to do. I picked this one just because I thought it was interesting that they asked for how to rate the programmer's conduct when it's obviously like the manager's fault that the program was put in that situation. So I think as long as like the programmer was able to make it past that situation, keep his job, and eventually get separated from the manager, I mean, they did the best they could. So after thinking about the situation, my takeaway, I don't know if this is the right takeaway or not, is if you're in the programmer's shoes, I think you either bite the bullet for the time being and try and stay with your job and then try and get the manager separated from where you are to not be bothered by them anymore, or while you're working on making the program, you could tell your manager's higher ups about the situation and try and get him fired before you even have to finish the program, just so you don't do something bad and then you also get separated. But those are the only two immediate outcomes I can think of.